Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday School. So, today we're in our last week of our Inside Out series. So, we've talked about joy, sadness, fear, anger, disgust, and fear is today. And so, today we're looking at 1 Samuel 19. So, it talks about David being scared of Saul because Saul is always trying to kill David. So whether David is playing music for Saul like he's asked him to do, whether he is just hanging out, whether he is in battle and something didn't go Saul's way because of David, Saul is always wanting David killed, and then he'll get over it. But today, in this story, Jonathan, who is Saul's son, intercedes for David, which means saying good things about David to Saul. So Saul will realize that he doesn't need to kill him this time or any time. So in the end, Saul does say that he will not put David to death. And that is 1 Samuel 19, verse 7. And so he is not, or verse 6, as the Lord lives, he shall not be put to death. And so Jonathan told David that Saul is no longer seeking to kill him, which has to be a good thing because David ran away to go somewhere where he wouldn't be found at Jonathan's advice so he won't die. But that's like a serious fear of someone killing you. But I think for us in our lives, we are scared of other things. So we're scared of whether you've evolved, right? So when you were a child, you were scared of the dark. You were maybe scared of a bug, even though some people are still scared of bugs. Whether you were scared of spending the night at someone else's house. Whether you were, you got turned around in the store one time and was not able to find your parents. Like that scarred you for life. Whether it is something just as simple as like a food you don't want to eat. I mean, it's not only disgusting, but it's fearful. But then coming back to how you're living your life now. So in middle school and high school, you're afraid of your grades. You're afraid of consequences for bad behavior, for grades not being what they need to be. But then when you're in high school, you're thinking about college. You're thinking about the next step. And so that next step can lead you to many, many, many different avenues. So whether your grades are good enough, whether you have the highest GPA, whether you have a good ACT score, whether you have gotten into the right school, a school that you want to go into. So there's all these fears that line up as you're planning your next step in your life. And so today we see this story of David, that ultimately he has a friend that comes in for him. And then David just it has to escape from Saul to avoid being killed. And he has friends that help him. And so when there is fear, I think we should always take the time to confide in someone. Whether that is saying a prayer to God, whether that's having a friend go with you if you are scared of a particular situation or moment, to have that person with you, to confide in you, to have that accountability partner, to share in those times with you, and to be able to open up to them. And so I know we've already read this scripture before, but in the sermon today, you'll see that 1 Samuel 19 is being paired with Psalm 23. So yeah, we've talked about this when we did our Psalm series, and we've talked about this in youth group before that. And so I want to end with that being our prayer today and invite you to read Psalm 23 throughout this week. And just to be able to say it as a prayer and to know that you can give God everything, that you can, and that God is always leading you. Everything that you give him is going back to your future and to his will and continuing you along the right path. So let me read that for us as we end today. Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. I shall dwell in the house of the Lord my whole life long. And so that is our prayer today and every day, that we will know that God is with us all the time. And so we've talked about this for the last 5 weeks and now for the 6th week, that even though these emotions exist, that they are God-given. God gave them to us so that we are human, that we experience emotions, we experience things, and that we are always drawn back to God no matter what our emotion is. And so today is the 15th, 16th, 17th. I filmed this on Thursdays, so I'll have to be honest with you. So this coming Sunday is the 18th, and so the next Sunday is the 25th. So y'all are in fall break right now. It'll be ending this Sunday and going back to school on the 19th. But on the 25th, we're having a fall festival here at the church. So that's from 2 to 4 p.m. So if you need service hours, come and help us out with that. But then at 5 o'clock, we're going to have a bonfire here at the church for you all, for youth. And so we'll have hot dogs and s'mores. And so I ask that you all RSVP to me, whether that's responding to an email, whether that's texting and remind, or texting me directly, that just so I know that you all are coming by the 21st of October. So I hope to see you all soon at the bonfire, the fall festival, whatever. I just hope to be able to see you all soon and hope that you all had an amazing fall break.